What it do, man? The boys coming through once again with a new video. On today's video, we're talking about phones. Phones in prison, how it works, what kind of system CDCR has to try to track those phones or do whatever they want to do. And the reason I'm making this video is because Doves made a video about, I believe, something about snitching, and he brought the fact about the phones, right? That they're cloned and they can get your information and stuff like that, right? Then the probation officer point of view made a video about this and where he's throwing his 2 cents, right? If I'm picking and choosing a person to believe, I'm gonna go with the probation officer. Why? Because he has more knowledge when it comes to this subject. One, he was a CO. Second, he was a detective, so he knows how things work. Now, in my opinion, or my point of view, I might share my story of getting caught with the phone and what we struggle and what did the ISU was trying to do, right? So let's get this clear. Different prisons have things they call blockers, right? They block your signal, and every so often, I guess you can't use your phone, or it's difficult to use the phone. You cannot get a signal, right? I don't think all prisons have these blockers, man, but some of them do. I have heard of CEOs getting on top of the roof to track signals, for these phones, man. Now, that's something I heard. I cannot say that I seen them doing that, but that was something that it was known in prison for SEALs to do, right? You always see them walking around with the tool trying to pick up a signal, whatever, and that was it. Now, getting caught with the phone, man. Hold on. First of all, let me just disagree on different points. One from Dubs, one from a prison point of view. About the cloning with Dubs. Cloning phones is not that known in prison, right? It's rare. I never heard of a case of a cloning a phone, but I can see it happening, right? I can see it happening, and only with certain individuals. Are they doing it with all the inmates? No, they're not doing it. There's no way. There's too many hoops they need to jump in order to get that warrant from the judge, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Now, so as for the probation officer point of view, I disagree with a statement that he said that people are just going to get phones like burners and get rid of them here and there. Well, I do not agree with that because, first of all, getting a phone in prison is difficult. And once you have that phone, man, you're using that thing until the wheels fall off. Literally, right? Until that thing's broken or gets taken away. Simple as that. Having a cell phone in prison is a privilege. Not everybody has them, you know? Of course, depending on what prison you are, they're more available than other prisons, man. I've been in prisons where just having a regular phone, one of those flip phones, costed $2,000, right? Because they're rare. And where other prisons, they'll go for $700, right? And again, as for the prices of these phones, man, usually they go for around $2,000. That's what I know of. Unless you got the hookup, unless you're homeboy, you probably get the homie hookup, right? Well, that's why there's no such thing as getting rid of those phones here and there now. The one phone that most people want to use is one that is called the Peanut. Super small phone, easy to carry with you at all times, and if you know what I mean. And it's very difficult to get caught. I don't think that phone goes off on the metal detector. Of course, all this is known by the CEOs, and they're trying to find ways to catch those phones. Now, in my experience, getting caught with the phone, right? We use a phone called WhatsApp. That's the phone we use. Our idea is locate the The messages, they're encrypted just in case something happens. But at the end of the day, man, is that if they get into your phone, they're going to look into your everything, right? If you don't have a password. So getting caught with the phone, right? The phone was blocked. It has a password. They cannot crack into the phone. There's no way. They went to T-Mobile, because we had to T-Mobile, and they got a warrant. Went to a judge, got a warrant, and the only thing that the company gave them is the phone numbers that were dialed through that phone. Period. For the messages, none of that was given to the CO because they couldn't get into the phone, right? It's not like it was a high security phone like an iPhone and stuff like that. And it was just a regular phone, just not even a Samsung or an iPhone. It was nothing like that. It was just a regular cheap smartphone. It had a code, so nobody could get into it. So when it came down to looking for information or looking for pictures, they couldn't get those pictures. Now, do I think that there are capable of getting to those pictures? Yes. I think it has to depend how big the case is and what they're trying to crack. Trust me, in that phone there was pictures of stuff that shouldn't be there. You know, talking about substances and big amounts. But of course, the COs don't know this, right? The ISU don't know this. And the only thing that happened is that a lot of people got 115s because of different phone numbers that were dialed. I have seen people getting caught with phones left and right? And I haven't heard nobody saying, hey, man, you know what? They open my phone. The cops at the end of the day, they just want to crack that phone. They want to grab that phone. And if they think that you are doing something illegal, right? Like as for tracking phones, all that super high technology, man, that's more for the streets. I don't think prisons is going to go to that point. Because at the end of the day, if they really wanted to catch other phones, there's the technology to find out where signals are coming from. I'm pretty sure there's technology to pinpoint where's phones at, right? They don't use that. So I'm pretty sure they have that technology, but it's too much money. They do it their own way, and that's it. The one thing that I know how they were looking for phones is through dogs. They have dogs that are trained to smell, I don't know, the battery of the phone, and they'll look for phones. But even though ISU had this type of dogs, man, they didn't use them that often because of whatever reason, right? Whatever reason. I'm not gonna be right here trying to give you an explanation of something that I know. ISU got their own reason. Maybe those dogs, they get sent to different prisons or whatever. But that's it. That's what it is. There's all kinds of reasons why people use phones, right? It doesn't necessarily have to do because you're pushing substances in prison. Maybe you just want to have a more private conversation with your family. I know people for this, man, that they want to have a private conversation with their family. Now with the internet, with the smartphones, man, it's more like they want to surface the web, get to this YouTube, Instagram and stuff like that. Because of course, man, you are locked up behind those walls, so you want some kind of interaction with the outside world, right? And I think this is most of the reason why inmates get phones. Of course, some people do it for other reasons, and trust me, understandable, right? That's the only way to do what you have to do. But again, the whole thing with phones is that a lot of people get paranoid with them, right? They think that people are listening to your phone calls and whatever, but it's understandable. It's understandable. It's understandable when you have something that's contraband. You're always gonna be paranoid. You're always gonna think that somebody knows about your stuff. You're always trying to be on your toes for everything. Why? Because you're not trying to lose that thing they cost you a lot of money. Right now, I don't know how much they go for right now, but when I was in prison, those smartphones will go for 2 grand. You know, so that's a hefty penny for actually lose super quick. But again, depending in which prison you're at, the prices is gonna change. You know, it's not gonna change that much. Maybe the lowest is gonna be probably like 1,600, 1,500, man. But you're not gonna get them less than 1,000, guaranteed, man. So with this being said, we are out. Hopefully you like this explanation I gave you of the phones and my experience when it has to do with the phones, right? So take care. Have a good night. To next video.